current generation of the Mazda BT-50 has been on the Philippine market for about 4 years now. Therefore, the D-Max-based BT-50 is now indeed ripe for a mid-cycle facelift. So as you can see here with the new Mazda BT-50, compared to the previous version which looks more elegant, this time around, they've made the front end of this car look sportier, and I think it matches much better to the car's core buyer demographic, especially with this very nice blue paint. So I'm happy to say na I match with this car's paint, yeah, but anyway, yun nga. So you can see here in the 4x2, you have standard LED headlights, but in this case, yung kanyang LED daytime running lights is this parang small LED bulb here. So yeah, interesting take on the DRLs, but in the range-topping 4x4 pangolin, you're gonna see na these L-shaped elements are the main daytime running lights. Yeah, siguro baka mapansin nyo naman na the Mazda logo is almost as big as my face. And then, you also have here a front faux skid plate. Faux lang siya because this is purely aesthetic, itong thing na ito. But I think we can all agree naman na this part here makes the BT-50 look sportier and much more purposeful to look at. And then, as we move towards the side of the new BT-50, here in the 4x2 variant, you're gonna see black 17-inch wheels. And then, in terms of the side profile, it's pretty much the same pa rin as the previous BT-50. And let us move to the 4x4 pangolin because, which as you're gonna see here, you have this rear sports bar with the pangolin logo, along with these fender flares to complement these two-tone 18-inch wheels. Then as we move towards the tailgate of the BT-50, so meron itong parang pattern sa baba ng panel na ito. And then, this is of course mirrored in the 4x2 version, along with of course these new LED taillights. What you won't see physically sa BT-50 is this car's tailgate lift assist. So, makikita mo sobrang gaan niya. And also worth noting is the 4x4 pangolin's bed cover. Thanks student from AutoPH for the demo. And yes, in case you're wondering, magtatropa kami lahat dito. Anyway, basically that is everything that is new here from the outside of the BT-50. So let us now step inside to of course see what else is new with this car. Now here inside the Mazda BT-50, the overall design may largely remain unchanged, but there are a few minor details where Mazda made a few tiny changes. So for example, dito sa kanyang upper glove box, you're gonna be seeing this sort of ribbed pattern kung sabihin natin, which mirrors that of what you've seen kanina sa kanyang rear tailgate. The variant we're currently in, by the way, is the base 4x2, which, as you're gonna see, these seats are very interesting for me because dati, with the base 4x2, what they get are merely just fabric seats. But this time around, Mazda Philippines was able to get terracotta and black leather plus synthetics with upholstery, which looks really nice. And worth noting as well is the interesting story on how Mazda Philippines got these seats into the Philippine spec BT-50. So, based on customer feedback, especially mga core Mazda fans, they found the interior of the 4x2 to be a bit too utilitarian. Now, to address that, sabi ng Mazda Philippines, they were trying to get in touch with Mazda Thailand, basically the one who's making or rather commissioning Isuzu to manufacture the BT-50. And sabi nila, they're not able to spec the 4x2 to have leather upholstery. And so because of that constraint, Mazda Philippines contacted a local supplier to develop these leather and synthetic suede seats. And that is how Mazda Philippines got this interior configuration for the Philippine spec BT-50 in this 4x2 variant. So it looks nice, I think, and I actually prefer this upholstery compared to the pure leather interior of the range-topping 4x4 pangolin. Now, interesting story aside from the car's upholstery, what you get here as well is a leather steering wheel for this 4x2 variant, along with a 7-inch infotainment system, not locally sourced by the way, like what you would see in the Isuzu D-Max, because this is actually the global infotainment talaga that Isuzu uses or even Mazda uses for the BT-50 and of course the Isuzu D-Max. Meron itong wireless Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto, along with the fast-charging wireless charging pad in the range-topping 4x4. Also in the range-topping 4x4 are automatic climate controls. Here kasi in the 4x2 that we're currently in, what you get instead are manual aircon controls. You also have this 4.2-inch na multi-information display sandwiched in between those two analog gauges. But once again yun nga, reserved for the range-topping 4x4 pangolin is a 7-inch partly digital gauge cluster. Other features worth talking about as well in the new BT-50. So you're gonna see na all variants come with a 360-degree camera system, and then of course limited to the range-topping 4x4 is an 8-speaker sound system along with the power adjustable driver's seat. Now as for the rear seats of the BT-50, well, hindi na ako uupo sa likod since it's still pretty much the same pa rin naman from the previous version, and so I'm gonna be reserving that for my full review of this car. But yun nga, in terms of features, both the variants of 4x4 and the 4x2 get rear aircon vents along with the USB-C fast charging port. Though, yun nga lang for this 4x2, wala itong rear center armrest because that is exclusive to the range-topping 4x4 pangolin. And then of course, limited to the range-topping 4x4 pangolin is a full suite of advanced driver assistance systems. Finally, as for the engine of this car, it's still pretty much the same pa rin as before. It's a 4JJ3 TCX, 3-liter turbocharged diesel engine. So basically, it's an Isuzu engine that we love so much here at Go Flat Out PH because it offers a lot of torque, a lot of pulling power, and also worth noting is that in the 4x4 variant, you also have a rear locking differential along with the new rough terrain mode. So it's pretty much like an off-road mode. And so basically that is the gist here with the new Mazda BT-50. They are mostly aesthetic and value-packed changes because in terms of pricing, as you're gonna be seeing here ngayon, napakaliit lang nung price increase for the Mazda BT-50, and this is cheaper spec per spec. So I'm not sure why you're gonna be choosing the D-Max at this point compared to the Mazda BT-50, especially with the fact na with the BT-50, with every Mazda naman basically, you get 5 years worth of free maintenance, which you won't be getting in an Isuzu D-Max. The only thing that's working against Mazda at this point is its smaller dealer network, at least compared to Isuzu Philippines. Nevertheless, here at Go Flat Out PH, we indeed still maintain our stand that the BT-50 has better value than the D-Max on which it's based.